Welcome to Patterns. In this video, I'm going to show you how to apply a pattern, how to scale up and down the pattern, not your object, not the shirt, and how to rotate the pattern left and right the way you would like and fix it. And of course, not rotating the object, just rotating and scaling up and down the pattern. So let's start. Remember that when we use the swatches, we could call the libraries here. And one of the libraries was patterns. I showed you that, but now we're gonna dig deeper. Let's go for the basic and basic dots, because we know that through these arrows, we can navigate through the patterns. So here you have the dots. These are preset patterns. Don't underestimate them. You can really change them the way you want, and they can be quite useful and quite beautiful sometimes. Some of them are really for animals. This is nature foliage. They're not bad. This one is very beautiful, in fact. Let's take an example with the circles. First, let me delete my patterns. I'm going to select them all here and click on delete, and that's it. So you can select an object here and come to the library here and apply a pattern. This is dots. It's beautiful. Maybe there's another one, and so on. You can navigate through and see which pattern you would like and which pattern you want to change. Maybe, ideas, creativity, something like this. Let's go back to dots and keep on clicking here. Now, what happens if you scale it down? Notice that the pattern is also scaling down. Very useful from time to time to scale the pattern with your object. But let's say you want to work it out. You don't want to scale the pattern. You want the pattern to be stable, and you want just to scale the object. How do you do that? There are several ways to do that, and the easiest is to come to scale. Notice you have scale over here. Under rotate, the shortcut is S. You can double click, not a single click. You don't want to use really a tool, you want to use the panel. Notice here what's happening. You have uniform scale, non-uniform scale. You can scale corners and scale strokes and effects. Remember, we used to check this one from the document. So now we can check it from over here for a short-term use, I would say. I'm going to remove this so we don't need them. You can transform the object. Through the scale, you can transform the object or transform the pattern itself. I'm going to click OK. So notice now, with the arrow tool or the back arrow, I can just scale both of them. That's pretty good. That's what we had. Let's click back to the scale, double click, and we want to remove transform object. I want to transform only the pattern. But now, if I click OK, I have no way to grab the pattern and transform it. To go back to the panel and use the uniform transform or the non-uniform transform. Over here, I can hike the scale. Just like this. Is amazing, by the way. Or I can take it down. I'm pressing Shift to go up 10 units at a time. I can take it down until it comes to 0. Okay, this is very small. This is 10. This is 0. It goes all black. Then you start with the negative. So this is one way to scale the pattern up and down. That's very beautiful. I'm going to take a strong pattern. I think it is this one. This one, yes. Notice here the pattern. I am doing shirts and it's really quite small and it's somehow going from up to down. I would like, first of all, to make it bigger, and then I want to rotate it. Let's focus on making it bigger, which is very easy now. Come over and transform pattern, and let's go just like this. I like that. Then I would like to rotate the pattern. Same story, you come now to the rotate tool. Double click, and here you have object and pattern. Check only pattern. And you can go up and down and start rotating the pattern the way you would like. Now, unfortunately, I had some values there where the pattern followed the value I had. So maybe we'll have a different angle for this one. I think 270 will be the right one. And I'm happy with my pattern. Maybe I would like to scale it up a bit. Come over here and make it not bigger, smaller, in fact. I like this one. And even big will be nicer if it's my shirt. I'm not so big, so I need some very small dots. Now that you learned how to scale the pattern and how to scale the object without the pattern, and how to rotate the pattern and how to rotate the object without the pattern. What we want to do is to go deeper in the next video and start editing this pattern, giving it some crazy colors, make something crazy. Okay, in this video, guys, I'm gonna show you how to edit a pattern. We're gonna take something simple and make something quite funny. And also I will show you how to recolor a pattern. It's gonna be awesome. Simple recoloring, not much. First of all, let's duplicate this guy so we don't start crying later when we don't have any shape to work with or any object. In fact, I'm gonna make it smaller, just to put it aside. Then let's go back to the original one. Now I'm gonna apply a pattern. I can use any pattern, but I want you to understand the concept. That's important. So I'm gonna go for these dots, the first dots we have used. Now they are beautiful dots, but I want them to change colors, to move a bit, make one dot bigger, play with it. How would you do that? First of all, you notice that for every pattern I clicked in the basic dots in the library, it came into my swatches. There are a couple of ways to edit a pattern. I'm gonna take you straight to it. Very simply, you double click on the pattern over here in your swatches. Another way to do that was to call for the pattern options window, which is just over here. So now you notice I am in the edit mode of the pattern. Let's zoom in. So the pattern is actually these dots here. You see the black ones. If you remove the dim here from the pattern option, just show you, you will not notice which one is really the pattern because the pattern replicates itself. I can simply come to the width and height, for example, and just take them up and down. So notice I'm pushing them away, I'm pushing them together, more together. Now they are overlapping. And I can also use the heights and push them away or bring them in so they can overlap. Don't underestimate the overlapping. It can be very beautiful in certain shapes. So we're almost there. Now there is a way to overlap. Here on the copies, you will find 5x5, 7x7, and 9x9, whatever you like. This is not about the pattern. It's about showing you how the pattern will be appearing. If I remove the dim here, notice I can see the pattern very clearly. I'm going to put back the dim so we see our dots. Now, I would like to edit the dots, all the circles now, themselves. Very easy. With the selection tool or the direct selection tool, I can select the circle, simple, and change its color. If you want to see what's happening in the layers here, so you notice a pattern is a group of shapes that are put together, as simple as this. Let's go back to properties. I'm going to change the colors here. Take this guy and this circle here and give it a green color. It's not going to look beautiful, but I need to give you a very simple example. I'm going to go for the orange. Let's go for the plain red. Now, let's go for the purple. Yeah. And the middle one, we're going to make it, I don't know, yellow. So I changed my pattern here. Now I can take a shape from here and make it bigger. For example, if I like to. Notice how the pattern is looking around. Pretty easy. So this is my pattern. Let's say I'm happy with these colors. Hopefully, you're happy with these colors. I'm going to go to the top here. If I click on done, the original pattern in the swatches will be updated. If I select save a copy, I can save a copy. Let's say colored. And now I can save a copy. And look at it, is over here. Even it's telling me the new pattern has been added to your swatches, just over here. So I have the original pattern, the dots, and the one I edited. Now coming over here, I don't want to click done because it will update the original one. So the best way is just to exit here. And let's go back, Ctrl+0, and see exactly how is our shirt. It's very beautiful. I would not wear this shirt, but nevertheless. So now I would like to have a background color for my pattern. Not all shirts are white from the background and you print over them. So maybe you want to have a base print, which will be the background color. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to re-edit my pattern. I double click on it and zoom in. Now, like any other shape, let's imagine this is the artboard, something like this. You're going to add another circle. I will come to the fill and give it the color I want, for example, purple. And to stroke, I don't want any stroke, of course. With this fill and stroke, I will draw the rectangle to fill it in. That's very beautiful, but I need to arrange and send to back. I actually changed the color of the background of the pattern. If I'm happy from it, I'm gonna save a copy and say pattern number 2, just to make it easy. And my pattern number 2 is over here, you can see it. And I'll click OK. Let's make this one bigger. I'm gonna go to medium. We can see the patterns here. Now I finished, I saved the copy. And since I don't want to update the one I started with, I'm gonna click on cancel. And let's go back to our shirt. You notice nothing has changed because the shirt has not been edited. It's the pattern that has been edited. And then I will apply my new pattern. And I have a shirt that is awesome. Okay, guys. I hope you like my shirt, my new shirt. Obviously, I'm already fired from the company who's making the textile and told never do patterns again. But nevertheless, you get the concept, you get the idea of how to change a pattern and how to change the colors and play with it. That is awesome, but there is more. You are going to create your own pattern in the next video. See you then. It's time for you now to create your own pattern. It's gonna be amazing, and I will show you certain tricks that you will really love. Let's start. I want to take something simple, not something we work on the design for an hour. And we're gonna make it cute. So the order here is to make a footprint of a lion, a beast, something. This is gonna be used for safaris and stories like this. So let's start. I'm gonna take the polygon, click to draw any polygon, doesn't matter. You know about this diamond here, you can make less points. Gonna zoom in on this guy, and then I use the white tool, the white arrow, and then make this corner a bit small, just a bit tiny, and these two to the maximum. So it looks like one piece of a footprint. Then I'm gonna, of course, remove the fill and make the stroke 1 or even 2 to see it well. Then I'm gonna replicate it. So option and drag. So one here, another one, something like this, and another one here. I'm gonna take this guy just down here. For the palm over here, I will use circles. So I'm gonna use the ellipse, come over and draw an ellipse, shift and option or alt. That's the first ellipse, then duplicate it over here, and then duplicate it over here. Select the bottom 2, align them at the bottom, and select all of them and distribute them quite nicely. With the shape builder tool now, crisscross and remove everything that is inside. Now, white arrow, select this point over here and press shift, select the other one, and just to the maximum as much as I can. Then this guy over here also to the maximum. We're almost there. I think it's a bit too big, so I'm going to make them a bit smaller. Just over here, I will readjust the stroke to 2, so they have all the same stroke. Now you can adjust them the way you would like. Something like this will look natural. Let's take this guy just over here. So now this is our footprint, and this is what we are going to put on the texture or the pattern. I'm going to select them all. I can group them. That will be nice. That will be, in fact, practical. And of course, they are very big. So before I start scaling, I want to come scale corners and scale stroke effect. That's cool. And let's make it smaller. Yeah, I'm pressing shift. That will be cool. Control plus or command plus. Here you are, zooming in. And I could give them colors for now, but I'm going to start step by step. So I will select the object and go to object and pattern and make a new pattern. It tells me your pattern over here. Notice I already created this, just practicing for you. This is the pattern here. I want it as a grid, or you can go by row, something like this. But I prefer to have it as a grid because I program later, and then space them a bit more. So this is 8 and this is 8. That's fantastic now. I have my pattern and I click done. This is a new pattern, so it's just over here. Ctrl 0, select my shirt and add the pattern. Let's make a duplicate and change the pattern. Bring it here. So obviously this one is very naive. Now we're going to do a better pattern. So I double click over here, zoom in. The first thing I want to do is to give it some plain colors or some colors. So I have a group here. I'm going to give colors to each one of them. Actually, I don't know why it's not grouping, but let's select them all. Give it this color as a group. Something like this will be better. Actually, I can go for some linear gradient. That will be interesting. So let's take this color here and come to the gradient. I'll go to fill, edit gradient, gradient options. And then this color, let's go. If we double click here, we take the dark brown. This is the dark brown, even darker. And the white here, I will double click and take a light brown. Something like this. And I want too much texture. Of course, it's going the wrong way, so I'm going to rotate maybe minus 90. Actually, 90. So I'm going to go for 90. So you notice what's happening here. Can make it less white on the borders. Fantastic. And I will click Save a Copy. Can give it a nice name. I click OK. It's over here now. And let's cancel. Let's take the second shirt. Select it and put the new one. Now it's looking better. But of course, I need the background and it's like very strict here. I'm going to edit the last one and zoom in. And first of all, I'm going to select them all. And then Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So I have another copy. I'm going to bring it inside just over here. And select maybe, that's okay. And now go to height, increase the height. And increase the other height also. So I'm going to select them all, the lower ones, and group them, Ctrl G, and just put it over here. And the second one also, Ctrl G, group them, and bring them in. And now I want to rotate them. Something like this. I like this. And something like this. In my youth, I worked this job, and I made very nice patterns, but it wasn't using Illustrator. It was much older. I want the background color now. I'm going to go for a rectangle and draw my rectangle inside the box. Of course, it has the old fields and so on. So no stroke at all. And the fill, I'm going to take something light. To see it better, maybe we arrange and arrange send to back. Are we doing the right job? Yes. Very cool. I like that. What do you think, guys? I'm going to save a copy. And this pattern 7, it will appear here. It's just over here. I think it has a mistake. But nevertheless, we are going to try it. And cancel from here. I have my pattern. Let's zoom in. And I have another shirt. So V and Option. And put the shirt over here. And give it the last color. Actually, it worked very nice. And here you are, guys. You have it. Now, if you want to change all the colors here without going to the pattern, it's very easy. I don't know if I mentioned it, by the way. You come to edit and edit colors and recolor artwork. We've done that. And here you can just, switch the colors around to have different patterns the way you would like. Or you can select a library, for example. I don't know, kid stuff. I always go back to kid stuff. And here you are. This is really kid stuff now. Okay, let's see what's happening. That's very cool. Oh, this one is nice. Fine. This I like very much. So it's done. We have done several patterns. And actually, we messed up the last one. So we're going to take this guy and give it here. But really, we did a great job. We have one that is very symmetric. And we have one with the pose are in inverse direction. And we have recolored one. Guys, now you are master of patterns. You can apply, create, modify, and do whatever you want. I leave it to your imagination to create background patterns, shirts, blouses, clothes patterns, whatever you like, food, some executive and something very beautiful patterns. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.